Bayou Jeep Bash 2026 will be held March 27th through 29th at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale. Hosted by Bayou Jeep Club and NOLA Motorsport Park, Bayou Jeep Bash is Louisiana's only dedicated Jeep lifestyle event. The weekend will feature off-road obstacle courses, trail rides, live music, local food vendors, aftermarket Jeep parts, vendor village, arts and craft vendors, and on-site camping. The trail ride will take Jeepers on a self-guided off-road adventure designed for all experience levels. The obstacle course will challenge drivers with a variety of off-road features designed to test skill, control, and vehicle capability. The entertainment lineup for the weekend will feature live performances from Shorts in December, Brian Foray, and Junior and Something Sneaky. Bayou Jeep Bash 2026, March 27th through 29th. Register now at BayouJeepBash.com.
Chocolate lovers rejoice. Scandalous Chocolates has arrived in New York with 4 sensational new varieties.
That's right. They aren't just chocolates. They're an experience. Premium edibles crafted with the finest ingredients, blending sweet and savory sophistication.
We're talking 20 milligrams premium chocolate lips, sleekly packaged, perfect for on-the-go indulgence. Nuts, fruits, caramel, it's an affair you can take anywhere.
At just $10, it's an affordable luxury. Fair trade, single origin, gluten-free, and vegan. Find Scandalous Chocolates at quality dispensaries like Travel Agency in Gotham.
Scandalous Chocolates. When you're in New York, awaken your senses and delight your palate.
The affair you could take anywhere. Scandalous. Are you looking for a unique New Orleans experience?
Check out New Orleans artist Frenchie at FrenchieLive.com.
Featuring original artworks, prints, and more. See it all at www.frenchielive.com.
Live event bookings are available. The gallery is open by appointment only.
And for private showings or parties, email info@frenchielive.com.
Experience the art. Experience the artist. Frenchie Gallery. www.frenchielive.com.
Hey, Jay, you hungry? Like really hungry?
Yeah, I'm in the mood for oysters. Hey, let's check out Trenas.
Oysters? I love oysters.
Trenas features a wide variety of local oysters. Char, grilled, baked, and on the half shell, even the famous oyster log.
Oyster log? I heard about that. You get 6 each of their signature baked oysters, plus 6 fried, all on a cypress slab?
42 oysters. We are going to love it. Trenas is located in the Hotel Intercontinental, 444 St. Charles Avenue, right on the parade route.
Sweet. When can we go?
7 days a week for lunch and dinner, plus a mimosa brunch on weekends, and happy hour daily from 3 to 6.
Happy hour? Nah, you're talking my language.
Great drinks, great wine list. An award-winning chef, Matthew Farmer, leads a team serving the best seafood in New Orleans. Trenas.
Trenas. Got it. Let's go.
I think it's more about the way we celebrate. I think New Orleans celebrates culture, and we celebrate these women that are going through it and being resilient. I think that's
like
probably
our city,
just
right?
like our city.
Walking, stepping down the street, y'all, talking, never know who you're gonna meet. Dancing, the groove feels so good to me. Singing, wow, yes indeed, y'all. Soulful living is all we know how to do. In the greatest place on earth, I'm talking about New Orleans, the greatest place I know. My hometown, the greatest place on earth. Yeah, yes indeed, y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and folks of all ages, welcome back to the Only Good Vibes News Network, your source for positive information in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we also would have to Give a shout out to some of our loyal listeners. We got Shecky out there in France who's always listened to us. What's up, Shecky? Thanks for having good vibes. And Viva la France. And Jack and Sherry, you guys have been in Spain with us ever since the first show. This is our 62nd show. We have some very, very, very exciting guests and some guests who is about nothing but only good vibes. But before we do that, let's get the good vibes rolling. First things first, we got the Sage and Palo Santos burning. We've already pulled the cards. I'm going to read the cards. It's just, the cards are just basically, we share them to bring you joy and to get us off to some good positive vibes for us all. Not only for us in here, but the people listening. The first one is the present. The front of the card has a word on it, and the back has a little inscription, and it says the present. The future is over. The past is over, rather. The future will never come. Now is the only moment that will ever exist. Therefore, live each second to the fullest. I mean, our guests today, these ladies, they know about living in the present. All right. And then also your virtue. Your virtue, the scent of a flower is carried by the wind, only going where the wind blows. But your virtue radiates in all directions, touching everything. Another thing I'll be forced to say that these ladies know a lot about is virtue, going from one place to the other. So this show is always about putting out positive vibes and helping people like just think better and become positive, have more doses of serotonin and dopamine in their lives. And nobody does this better than these two ladies today. Today we have an organization that's all about resilience, community, and refining what it means to survive, and the importance of having and building very strong communities, regardless of what the community is. But your community, these latest communities, I would like to introduce, without any further ado, Miss Angela Becnel and Miss Lisa McKenzie with Unite.
Thank you.
Now, these ladies are no beginner here to Only Good Vibes News Network. You guys were with us when we were at the radio station at WGSO 990 AM. Thank you for those guys for brewing that for us. I mean, without them and our sponsors, we would not have it. And without guests like yourself, we wouldn't be doing a 60-second show. So what do you guys think about the new Only Good Vibes News Network studio here?
Would you call it a studio or a museum?
That's the same thing that Laney Sweat said. He said, we're in the Whistle Shrine.
Yeah.
I think that it's all those things whenever, you get married and your wife is like, that's not going in the house. Like, this is a room of that's not going in the house.
It's so, we walked in and I said, give me just a few minutes just to stand here and take it all in.
That's what every single person
awesome.
said.
I haven't even looked at everything yet.
They got the set list up here. We had a Dr. Elliott came on, and I have musicians on too, because their music is a positive vibe, just like helping folks. And you guys do some serious heavy lifting when it comes to, putting out positive vibes, putting out good energy, just putting your mouth putting your money where your mouth is, putting your time where your mouth, what you're practicing, what you preach by doing with your time, and just there's just so much stuff to get into about how excited I am. We only have people here because you inspire us. So we want to bring you on and then, shine some light on what you guys are doing. And you do that a lot. And music is one of those things where, it also adds on to people's life, is what the doctor was saying. He was saying, if you listen to music, just regularly listen, it sounds good, but whenever you're just going to see music, it's even more, because you have like almost a 3D. You're going to be interacting with each other. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. We're dancing. We're like enjoying the music of the memories and making new memories. And that kind of activity adds on to your life. And all the set lists up here on the top is good vibes coming through that. And you guys with your events, how long have you guys been doing Unite? How long has it been?
The idea was conceived in 2012, so 14 years. Just hard to believe. Yeah,
14 years.
Yes.
Does it feel like it just went by like lightning, or does it feel like feels like 14 years?
I would say it feels like 14 years. And I think the reason I say that is that we have, Angela and I've been working for about 12 of those 14 years. She entered my world like a bull in a china cabinet. I mean,
That's
I was like,
awesome.
who is this young buck, coming in? Because she helps me with my logistics, which I sorely needed and have needed ever since, obviously. But we have been through so much together, helping so many women, battling cancer, but also we do it as a special event. And so our events always are big and bold and loud and have music, but there's just such an adventure. We've helped so many people. So I'm not saying that it feels long in the worst way. It just feels rich.
That's what I was going to say. It has more meaning and more weight and everything. I would think that you guys would have to have like an exercise plan where sometimes you would have to unplug yourself and just say, okay, because I mean, I have to believe that a lot of times that when you're going through this, you're building these relationships, really brand new, strong relationships with new ladies almost every year. You got more. Well, some of them are coming back, I would imagine, but the program is just you're always meeting new people, building relationships, and then those relationships either they graduate, they go somewhere and they recover, or they don't. You know what I mean? And so that has to feel like a lot. And that's why I was just so excited to have y'all here, because any way I can get a chance to hold you guys up, because that's all you do, right? That's all you guys do for people is help them all the time. Like, that's it. That's the whole thing. It's like every day it's the same thing, and every day you guys have to go through something that you probably thought you weren't going to go through, but you have to stay calm for those ladies. You have to be there for them. You have to let them know and be strength for them. And I would think it's very important for you guys to have an exit plan for you to like just say, okay, I'm going to unplug my phone tonight and tomorrow and next weekend, and then I'm going to go back. And I would imagine when you're not there, you miss it. You miss a lot of it, because it's helping people is, in my opinion, an inside job. Like, you begin to feel so much when you help a person. Like, us three can walk outside and a lady can be with a broken down car, her tire's down. So all three of us get together and fill the car up, fill the air up, the tire up with air, and get her on her way. She leaves, she's real happy. And we're excited because we're like, we feel good. We're like, we help someone.
Yeah.
But, I can't imagine how good it must feel and all in between when it comes to your job. And that's why I always want to be just so appreciative and just so happy for you guys, because anytime I get a chance to help you guys and shine a light on anything with you guys, which we're going to get into, that I signed up. And I also, he'll probably find out before this shows, but I signed up Angela's husband to be a partner of mine. And
playing cornhole. You'll mention that.
Brass and cornhole, right?
Yeah, it's called Battle of the Brass. Your part is Battle of the Brass, where we have local dignitaries, people who are well known, which you are, coming to support our mission. And so you'll be there with the mayor of Mandeville, the sheriff of Washington Parish, some judges, other politicians, and well-known people, some oncologists who are playing in a dignitary round, not the official round, which follows yours, where the community is invited to play. So yours is more just a little bit theatrics and fanfare, just to get the word out.
Look, anything I can do to help those ladies, I'm there. I am. And your cause, it's just, it's the most selfless thing to ever do, is to help someone else, right? And then to help them when they really need you. You know what I mean? When they really, really are struggling, and you can be that strength for them. And you guys are really good at that. And I want to have you guys on because welcome to Happy Women's Month, ladies.
Oh, well, thank
and
you.
You guys are kicking off the Women's Month over here at the Fan Cave. We're going to have a whole array of ladies coming off. You guys are kicking it off, the inaugural
All right.
Women's Day.
Hey, women.
The Unite organization produces empowerment events for women surviving cancer. and correct me if I'm wrong, but the mission behind the vision is to help women embrace life beyond their diagnosis. Isn't that right?
Yes, it's to find a sisterhood of support. And so we've had over 700 ladies in our local community who have all gone through the program. And it's really just women talking about Women's Month. I mean, we're Women Year, every year of women supporting women. Most of the support comes from those who've been previous participants. And nobody knows how to support somebody than somebody who's been through it, right? Who's been through the battle and can say to the person who is struggling, I was in your shoes a year ago, and you're going to make it through this very dark time. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, Angela and I open the door. We create the, we build the house and we open the door. But the ladies in our program are what make the magic happen. I mean, our part is just to let people in and let them know that they're in a safe place and we love them. Can I ask Angela a question?
Absolutely. This is a free environment here.
Yeah.
Only three things we ask: no politics, no religion, and no negativity.
Okay.
But
Well, just going back to that question, it's like they plant the seed and we watch them bloom.
And so for Angela, she has been a special events planner forever and could be hired by anybody. And she's very good at what she does. And we, as a nonprofit, we struggle to make funds some years, but she sticks with it. And one reason might be because she's one of my best friends, and we've become friends over the years. But she will say over and over again. So the question I would ask to you is that, why do you keep coming back? Because you really could be employed elsewhere, but you choose to throw yourself into a very serious subject matter. And what brings you back to these ladies and to what we do?
Well, on top of us just having a really good time working together. And when I first came to Unite, I was blown away by these women actually had cancer. You could look at all of these women and think like, wow, they are so confident and have so much grace and courage. How could they have such a terrible diagnosis? And I think just watching these women year after year bloom and transform into a confident human being outside of their diagnosis and know who they are has been something that has kept me coming back. I
can see how that can make you want to fight. When you go and then it almost sounds like I was raised kind of to be thankful for what you have, right? And so I think there's a lot of that going on because when you go in there and you see these ladies with grace and during these difficult times and doing this, you not have a pulse if you can't feel I can step it up a little bit more in my situation, whatever it may be, because here's these ladies, they kicking ass. They're really they have some really serious things, that's wrong. And if I have one or two things that I'm thinking and you keep coming back because it helps build you up. It builds your strength too. You know what I would think? Because that makes you guys almost me doing this show for 62 times. I almost feel like people don't really want to talk to me because all I'm going to do is find a positive thing. You know what I mean? But the same way with you talking to those ladies, you're all right, it's okay. These ladies are really going through some things. I can push through whatever I'm going through. And it just makes you stronger and stronger and stronger each year, I would think.
For sure.
Well, your program is all about positivity, and really positivity is a multiplier, right? As well as negativity. Mm-hmm. So if we could create an atmosphere where we are lifting each other up and loving each other, it just spreads like wildfire.
Yes,
and we do have policies within our organization that, you can be negative and you can be sad because they are, but you have to want to move forward. You have to at least give us 1% of that desire to make a shift in your life. And a lot of times these ladies are dealing with way more than cancer. Like their husband left them the minute they found out they got diagnosed, or they can't have babies anymore because of the cancer. Maybe they lost a child while they had cancer. There's a lot that goes on. So we love that we can open up a place and just say, life does throw you curveballs, and we all have these curveballs, but can we find a way to strengthen each other and learn something from it? And Angela always says, and it's one of my favorite things I hear her say, is about watching the audience, the family members. Speak to that. That's pretty.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things at all of our events is just watching the family members cheer on their loved ones, or watching the doctors see their patient thriving and happy versus walking out of their office crying. I think it's a huge
a boost for them, for the family. I mean, for me, I would think that they go through a lot, the families, and this is a release that you guys give them to kick back and be like, oh wow, she's having a good time, or they're having
one
fun,
year,
man, you know, because it's a lot of tough times too that they've shared with them. So I bet during that stuff, during like when they're doing their runway and all their things, they must just be like, for just a moment, they can feel relaxed.
Yeah, the whole audience is united. We tell our videographers, our photographers, our makeup artists, our stylists, the runway coach, we said the role you play with these women, don't underestimate what you're doing, because you're creating a moment in time, not only for them, but for their family members, that is forever captured in these photos and the videos and this moment and this experience that you don't get to capture when you're a cancer patient. I mean, outside of these spectacular moments that we help create, you're sick, you're laying on the couch. And so we help people like shift the perspective.
And that's a big thing about life too. That's what I try and tell people sometimes. And that's why I love having doctors on, neurologists, and how they talk about it. Because us saying it is one thing, but hearing a doctor tell you that, like, that is actually helping you. You know, even if you don't have a diagnosis that's bad, if you're in a hospital, it could be a broken leg or whatever, but if nobody's coming to visit you, or you just there, you know, just your mind just starts to go, you know. So I can imagine during challenging times and you don't feel good and things are tough and bills are still coming and relationships are still and it's just like, it just seems so unfair. But then when you guys come into their life and implement like I don't know what to say, reality, like a normalcy, but I mean like just positive stuff, more serotonin, more dopamine installments, you know what I mean? Yes. Where they're really, wow, like, because you could do a body hack. It's called a Superman, right? Like,
yes, I love that. Yes, I love that.
And all those things there, they make so much difference, but it just tells you how your body, you can hack it. And when you guys put them into that situation, it's not really like a hack. They just like overwhelmed. Like if someone's telling you, like if you have some sad news and a death or something, mostly because that's the most sad news. But then somebody will come and say something off color that person would say or whatever, and you start cracking up laughing. Immediately you feel like a sense of relief. Like, and you're like, I got to get out more. It's because that dopamine, that serotonin, because they had that burst, what you guys doing with them going on a runway or playing in this tournament or just any event that you guys have. I listened to one of the podcasts that you do. You guys, can you talk to us a little bit about your podcast that you do? Because I think it's amazing. I listened to the lady that was just on the latest one that you did, the 27th. She was really, really, really cool. And I like how she didn't wear the wig anymore. Like Elena. She was like, It was really like those monumental things, man. Like seeing these ladies work through that, those things really touched me, like when she went walking and she's like, because again, back to our mind, right? Like our mind is like, I might need this because I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But then as she went along and then she felt comfortable with you guys and around you guys, like,
I'm not going to wear the wig.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what is the part I love the most about y'all's thing, about how you help a person figure out and get through those tough times. And because that's what life is really tough all the time. You know what I mean? But when you get really challenged, you need that support system like you guys have. And I think but me hearing that and other ladies hearing that, being in that position, like you said, the ladies that come back, I think that's extremely important because he was talking about that too. Yeah. And it's just so powerful. It's like when I was talking about sports, like a coach that's played, they'll listen to more the players because they know he's been through it, they've been down it, rather than a person who hadn't played sports and be like, yeah, well, they just don't really know. It's something that's so just more powerful, their story of them going through it and them listening to that as ammunition going through their story of it. And you're like, wow, sometimes it could probably be like, I didn't know that someone would go through that much. Wow. Like everybody's story is different. And I think they play off of each other and it really helps. I just love the program that you guys are doing.
Thank you. Well, when you were talking about the coach, so it's interesting because I've never played on a team sport like that, but I would imagine that part of coaching is more than the physical. It's probably a lot of psychology, right? That goes into how people approach playing. I guess a good coach would probably implement the psychology as well as the physical. And so ours, of course, does that too, because we don't put ladies in a runway show and say, okay, I'm going to give you hair and makeup and, we're going to give you a fancy gown and you're going to walk out on the stage and ta-da, everything's good. We work with them for months prior to that moment on getting to the psychology behind what they've experienced and how they're feeling. And did they stop appreciating who they are as a human being? Like, did they lose their way, their North Star along the path? And we help them find that North Star again. But the reason I love the podcast, which you mentioned, I think I'm about to do my 96th episode. And thank you. And so I appreciate when you were... when you clap,
the crowd goes wild.
Yes, when you clapped about how many episodes you've done, there's a lot of work. So hats off to you.
I listened and I told you guys off the record before we were on here that I was like, man, Lisa is legit. She got people on the line and she'll reel them in and she won't. I mean, that's a clever thing. Because me being not that. I've done some shows, but I'd always tell myself that I'm always learning. My goal is to always get better than I was today, tomorrow. You know what I mean? And learn. So when I'm listening to people like you guys and I'm like, man, this show is more less intrusive, saying and not in a bad way, but just I want people to feel comfortable because it's just about us uplifting each other and uplifting Louisiana and talking about letting people see things happening in Louisiana that they may not know about that's really positive, and people like yourselves. The idea, the concept came to me over 20 years ago, and it was mainly because I felt our information that we were getting was pretty negative. And so I know that our subconscious thought process is just waiting for marching orders from, right? So if the news is only reporting on and it's less than this, 20% of people doing bad things, and over and over and over and over, I want to report on the 80% of people doing the good things you guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing things like you guys. Really. I mean, that's what's the important news. That's why this is a network of positive things. And you are always welcome here. Maybe I'll have to start making a little board when people come, when you go the fun. Second time they're here.
Oh, yeah.
You get your chads
like a Girl Scout badge.
Yes.
Well, on the podcast, so what, 2 years ago, prior to the podcast, if we asked a woman, tell us your story, the story was always the same. I'll never forget when I was told I have cancer and these are how many surgeries and this is my radiation, the end. So you would walk away and say, wow, okay, do you know Elena? If Elena, the one you listen to, do you actually know who she is as a woman, as a mother, as we weren't hearing that side of the story. So we created a program that they work through that helps them remember who they were before the diagnosis, who were their influencers, what shaped them as a woman. And then they can include their cancer part, but cancer doesn't have to be their whole story. So story crafting is the program, and the podcast allows them the ability to read that story, but also for me to sit down for about a half hour per lady and really get to know them. But it is part of their empowerment journey, because when I sit down at the beginning of the program and say, okay, these are all the things you guys are going to do to help release the trauma, but one of those is we're going to help you craft a story. And then you're going to read it on a podcast. And they just don't believe in themselves. First of all, they don't believe that they're going to be able to write their story. And then they don't believe that they're going to be able to say it into a microphone. They show up so nervous to get in front of a microphone.
Nerve-wracking. Yeah.
And I try
Not like you two guys. Y'all are pros. Y'all super relaxed. Especially Ann. She's uncanny calm.
Yep. And I'm doing all the talking. I want Angela to talk. But that podcast for me is special because I really get to know these ladies, but I get to show them your story matters. And I get to pull that out of them and make them feel comfortable, because the people listening are their friends, their families, their coworkers are like, oh my gosh, I never knew that about you. And we get to preserve that for history, for all eternity. We get to create that moment in time for that woman to use her voice to either, heal herself, but to help others.
That's awesome. And I spoke to you briefly about this, but a person told me a really good interviewer gets people to say things that they don't normally say. And that's exactly what you mean. I know I'm throwing bouquets at your feet, but you need to have empathy, humility, and compassion for yourself. I have these 3 big 6 things that I mentioned at the end of the show. The first 3 is have empathy, humility, and compassion for yourself. And that is it, right? You need to celebrate the fact that you are a good interviewer and that you guys are doing really great with logistics, and you guys have brought this together, and how many women you've brought together and helped, and how many women that you've made their last times on their place better and put them in a great place when they're in a situation where it could be like nothing but just all the way negativity and not help them grow in a sense. But that's the thing that I love the most about the thing with you two together is how you just not only made it that you're going to help them, but you made it fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's hard to do that, I would think, a lot of times, if you think about it. So I'm going to ask you guys this, and you just kind of answer the whole thing, and you can leave it at that. Is that there are many support groups, but Unite is clearly you guys are in your own lane. But what makes you guys different than other support groups? Like you just mentioned it, how you go do you make them, they write their stories, and I don't want to make sure that there's anything else that you guys felt. I know you do so many.
You want me to answer that? Or do you want? Well, okay. So for one is that support groups, which I believe in, I think everybody should find help for sure. But what makes ours different is that we bring ladies together and they start on day 1 together. And we work them through a curriculum to get them to that runway stage. And then we even say year 2 is really part of their empowerment training, their journey together, because a lot of them will stay on and become leaders and helpers and volunteers. So we really do like to consider our program sort of a 2-year program. But with regular support groups, people are dropping in, dropping out. Nobody has to come to those meetings. They're open for whoever. And so you might have been coming for a long time, and in comes a new person who's struggling, and you might be in different schedules. Like with ours, we make everybody start and work through every single activity together until they get to that runway stage, so that they are experiencing everything simultaneously.
And I think that would lend itself to them calming down a little bit too, because every single person is going through it. They're not just going through this jaunt by themselves, but they're all together. Like, hey, I'm really freaking out about this part. What do you think?
Yes.
Did you get that? I think that's a good part.
Yeah, they're all scared to be on the podcast. They're all scared of getting on that runway stage. Right?
Yeah, and I also think that we offer, after they graduate, leadership opportunities where they can actually make money, which I think is something that we don't talk about enough. They can also train to be a SCART instructor, which is our painting program, and it's a paid position, as well as being a story crafting instructor.
That is
so. Some of these women may
organic.
not have like jobs afterwards, and they could sort of have a little side hustle, helping their fellow sisters, as well as it does help themselves to continue to sort of be in it, but as a coach on the other side. So that's
go from victim to coach is a really powerful thing to watch. I mean, and I don't want to call them victim, but some people do come in with that victim mentality, and then they don't see their potential, and then all of a sudden the next year they're the trainer. It's really crazy.
It has to have you guys just burst with pride.
Very much.
Yeah, I mean, when we see them on Facebook, kind of like on their little lunch dates, or we'll call each other on the side or screenshot and be like, oh, look, class of 2023 is having lunch together. And it's like, we weren't invited, and that's okay because we have a lot going on. But we're really happy to see that the friendships are still there. It means a lot to us, really.
It's like taking a seed and a plant and growing it, and you seeing it turn into this beautiful bloom and tree. Exactly. Just like, it just really feels good. It feels good to me, and I'm not even a part of it. I mean, I'm not a part of it just yet.
Yeah, that's a perfect metaphor.
Yes.
It is, all right. You just see it bloom.
Our
She
program
Rose.
is called She Rose, and the She Rose program there's many meanings to that. So one is a shero, like a hero, but the other is like she rose from the ashes, and then the other is the bloom. So all of those, there's multiple meanings behind why we call it that.
I told you. Watch this room. I burned a lot of Palo Santos in here. We like right on the same page.
Yep.
So cancer treatment often focuses on physical healing. What emotional wounds tend to go unaddressed when you're in these things? I mean, I bet there's a lot, but I mean, anyone that you can mention.
Do you want to mention any, or do you want me?
I mean, just depression and
That's the first one that I was thinking.
loneliness and
Both of those
fear, and I mean, all
Fear
the
is a big
things.
one. But I would say also that women, hey, all you women, National Women's Month, women are nurturers, and women give to everybody. They give to their schools, they give their family, they give their husband. They do not give to themselves. They're usually last in line to do some self-care. And so what happens is that all of a sudden when you get these women in a room and we're like, this is your gift, and this is your time to receive this from us and from each other, and they realize how little they've poured into themselves. So that's like an emotional wound of like, wow, like I've neglected me. I forgot who I am. And cancer can create that in a big way where all of a sudden it's like, who am I? Who do I want to be? So one of the emotional wounds definitely is just us understanding who you are as a person on this planet and your role. Like, why am I born? Why am I here? Why did I get cancer? And then to discover, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know this could come out of this diagnosis.
I think that hits every base, every person. It doesn't have to be women. It doesn't have to be cancer. Just like, I bitch at my wife because she's always doing stuff for her mom. She's always doing stuff for me. And then she like, don't ever have stuff. And I'm like,
because there's no time.
What the F? I mean, seriously, like take care of yourself. Like, but it's just a nurturing thing. And I always say this. I have no problem with saying this, and I'm on a record many, many, many times of saying it. I don't have any problem with it. Women are smarter than men. They are. I mean, I don't care. I mean, if you can prove me wrong or try to, it's just, I'm serious. Like, it's just a lot of things. And I learned this a long, long time ago. I was wearing this whistle a long time ago, right? And I would be at the Saints training camp, and it's hot. And I have this, in essence, a tree on my head. So I have shade. So every guy walks up like, man, you must be burning up in that thing. And every single woman's like, you must really be cool into there. Oh. And they were right. And it was, I'm like, I literally have an umbrella or a tree over my head, but every guy's like, man, you must be burning up. And I'm like, no, I'm actually pretty cool. And that's just one example when I really, like, it really hit me that I do 15 minutes of gratitude at 11:11, 333. It's 333
I do 11:11 too.
And then 555. But that's what that vibration was. But no, all of that stuff is so true that, I mean, the depression has to be, and I mean, you don't even have to have a diagnosis to have these things going on. And then for you guys to have to help them pull that out, that's very special.
I want to say another one too, is like when you were talking about that Wonder Woman kind of pose sort of thing, which Superman pose, like we actually teach that in our class. But when a woman looks in a mirror or refuses to look in the mirror, when her head is shaved, she's lost her eyelashes, she's maybe has scars from surgery, and her body's completely changed. A lot of them will avoid the mirror. And so another emotional wound is just being able to look at your mirror and think you're still beautiful. And maybe your beauty has changed, but that's a hard one. I mean, we talk to women who are just really trying to come to terms with how their bodies have changed, and they don't want their husband touching them anymore or seeing them without clothes. So really to like help people just this is our earth suit, right? We all put in a suit.
Ooh, I like the earth suit.
Yeah, we're all wearing an earth suit.
I'm like, hey baby, I'm about to get my earth suit on. Let's go.
Yeah. Because what you are inside is not your earth suit.
Right, exactly.
And so, it's to know that the soul inside is what we care about. And we all have these beautiful souls that need to be loved and enriched. And you have to see past the physicality and look at yourself in your own eyeballs, stare in the mirror and go, you have value.
It's hard for us to be like, to toot our own horns. That's why one of the big 3-6 things is empathy, humility, and compassion for self. Because we always feel like there's lots of other things that we need to focus on because we still have more things to do, rather than say, I'm a good person. I deserve to do nothing today. I deserve to be upset about that, or I'm going to take a day off. Like, rather than just saying I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to, like, give some empathy and humility and compassion for yourself. And that's a big piece. And I think that the ladies, that's definitely an uncovered thing, I would think, that you guys do, because it's like a 500-pound gorilla that nobody really kind of talks about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's in the room all the time.
And it's important because women, by design, are beautiful.
Yeah.
And, with their hair and their eyelashes and their curves and their, body parts. And I mean, they're beautiful. And when that gets taken away and stripped from them, a lot of times they do lose track of who they are and feel like,
can they not, though,
So yeah, part of the runway show, which makes it so beautiful, the reason we save that for the end in the photo shoot and makeover, is that when we watch them, like the woman you listened to on the podcast who came with a long wig, because she used to have long hair. Yep. She came with a long wig and she was brushing it in the corner. And I was like, oh, you're going to wear the wig in the photo shoot? She said, yeah, this is what my hair used to look like. And about 5 minutes before she sat down with the photographer, she tossed it. And she was like, I'm not going to wear it. Mm-hmm. And then to see this emotion come over her during that process of finally accepting herself and not being like, I don't need that fake thing on my head to make me feel this way.
I bet whenever you guys get and see those moments, they overcome all the other things that you were like, oh my God, this is just gut wrenching. But then when you see this, it makes everything all worth it again. Like, you're like, oh, wow. And I heard that. I remember her talking about that. I remember the whole thing about it and the scar and how she was. I just think that it's definitely like a cocoon that they're just busting out of and turning into a butterfly.
Yeah, it's confidence and acceptance. I think that's what we really enjoy seeing in this program.
Tell them about Ginger's daughter watching the photo shoot.
Yeah, so we had last class, we had one of our ladies' daughter. She was watching her mom go through the photo shoot, and I noticed she was crying, like she had gotten all teared up. She kind of ran to the back, and I went after her and was like, "Are you okay?" And she said, "I've never seen my mom this happy. Like, I've never seen my mom." So not only was her mom on top of the world, like we're working through the photo shoot and the process, but it was also carried on to her daughter, where she was like so happy and so like moved by seeing her mom in that moment. It was really
Yeah,
touching.
she said, thank you for getting me my mom back.
Yeah,
she's like, it's been a long time since I've seen my mom smile, and you guys not only did we give that gift to that woman taking the photos, but to her daughter to say, oh my gosh, like this has been missing from our lives in our household.
Yeah, I mean, like when I would imagine when the diagnosis comes, it's just not for them. It's for the entire family.
Yeah.
And then when they start to see them not the person that they were, and then you guys bring that light back, I can imagine it's just something that's just so super overwhelming that they may have thought they may have lost that person, but then they see it again, they're like, wait.
Yeah. And I mean, as a mom, I mean, the last thing you want is your kids to worry. So the diagnosis, I'm sure, is never like, oh my gosh, it's probably more like, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be good. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But then, you don't know what they're dealing with. And because they're probably dealing with, I don't want mom to worry that I'm worrying. And so it's like everybody's trying to do the same thing, is to protect the other person. And like I said, as a mom, I think it'd be
I think this is not only a great one for Women's Month, right? But just in general, just a really good show, a good opportunity to let people know what's going on and that they have a place they can go to. If they wanted to get in touch with you guys, how could they get in touch with you guys? If somebody who's may find out just recently that they had diagnosed and they've been diagnosed and they wanted to say, man, I heard this sounds really like something that I can get into, how would they reach you guys? Do you guys have a website or numbers?
So our website's Unite Events, and it's YOUNIGHT events.com. And at the top it says like sign up or send info. And we have little small events throughout the year that people can get involved in if they. Obviously, our class of 2026 has already launched, and those ladies, there's 36 ladies working as a group to the runway. But outside of that, we have, our March 22nd cornhole event on the North Shore, as well as we have these scar art painting class. Listen, women, if you're hearing this right now, please go to our website and at least give us your contact information so we can send you those dates, because it is a art therapy in a group experience where you paint your physical and or emotional scars on canvas to address how you feel about your scars and to share that with the group, and it's very, very therapeutic, and it is
powerful.
It's very powerful. And the paintings that we've done thousands, and not one painting is ever the same. And you don't have to have painting experience. It's a guided 3-hour class. But I would say if anybody's hearing, the best thing they could do is go to our website and at least tell us a little bit why you're reaching out, how we can help you. And because we're going to start doing some monthly get-togethers, things like that. We just really, really would love to help and serve and know what's going on. We serve Hammond to Slidell, all of the greater New Orleans area, and the West Bank.
Wow.
And women come from every socioeconomic situation, every size, shape, age. We've had ladies as old as 80-something in our program, as young as 18. So it's open. It's just, if you've heard the words, you have cancer, whether it's years ago or even right now, and you're battling, we have a place for you to land.
Wow. I mean, that's beautiful. What way to start off March, right?
Yeah.
With Women's Month, with the opportunity for some people to be able to get on in your program and just kind of just feel love. You know what I mean? Not only feel love, but be able to, in so many different technical ways. I gotta believe that it's therapeutic, but it's just so organically just beautiful the way that you guys let them. You're not telling them, hey, get better. Like, they're finding their way with the lady with the wig, or they're finding their way with their, the scars and painting it, and just how clever it is, how you help them bring it out and you make it like, not say it's not bad. I mean, you just make it fun, and you take their minds off of it, in my opinion, and you focus it on other things that they can grow from it, and that other people have already done. It's not like saying, hey, do this, it works. You still have people there and coming back and helping people. And those people who was there the first time, they got through with someone helping them. So now they come back and help someone else. And that can be addictive, I would think. Yeah. I would think you guys have a lot of people coming back after the first time.
It's addictive because some of the ladies who have gone through the painting program, say a year ago, will come back and will say, do you want to paint again? And they'll paint. And their painting is night and day different.
Yeah.
A year ago, the colors they choose are blacks and reds and darks and like teardrops. And then a year later, there's sunshine and flowers and blue skies. And you ask them to explain, why is it different? And so they get to express that they were let free from their mind.
And you can just, that's it right there. I mean, I find it so like, this guy's a little extreme, but he's like one of my spirit animals. His name is David Goggins. This guy runs 300-mile races. Like, he hates to run. He wakes up every morning. He talks about callousing his mind to do things, but he wakes up every morning and runs 12 miles. And he hates to run. He has terrible knees. The exercise for me with him listening to this guy and seeing this is, he broke the world's record for like pull-ups. He like 4,000 pull-ups. It's crazy stuff. But what that tells me is like how strong our minds really are.
Right.
Like his mind is just, it's unbelievable. Like, he's like on a higher level, but your ladies are on that same level. Well, their mind was here at one point, and it was really difficult. And they went through it, and they got through it organically, and healthy is the word that I've been thinking of. I've been wanting to say that I couldn't think of, but it's like because you can heal unhealthy. You can heal, but I think healing healthy, like having scarring, embracing that tough time and embracing it. You know, some people when they go through life, that's how people get involved with alcohol, drugs, and things, because like handling the truth, they want to numb it in a sense. But you don't. There's no numbing ads. What you guys doing is saying, okay, this is going to be tough. It's going to be tears. It's going to be love. It's going to be hugging each other. It's going to be getting through it together. And that's the best way to get through anything healthy as possible.
Right. You want to ignore it or you want to face it. You know, and if you face it, you can really pull the weeds out using your garden analogy.
And you can be scared, but if you got other people there with you that's scared and fighting it through, it makes it a little bit easier.
As a matter of fact, we're not going to tell people not to be scared. You know, you have to feel all the feels. But if you don't feel the feels, that's where the pain can come. That's where the loneliness, the depression, the medication, and the alcohol. Because you're ignoring it. You're putting a Band-Aid on the reality of what's going on in your life instead of facing it.
Man,
it's facing it like we're all gonna. You know, how do you want to live?
Yes,
that's how we're facing it.
Yep.
We talked about this a little bit more. The second annual cornhole.
Yeah.
Who was the champ again? I'm gonna hear.
Well, okay, Jason Smith, if you're listening, Sheriff Jason Smith and his Chief Deputy Kyle Varnado were our dignitary round. So we have 2 tournaments. We created this North Shore event because our runway show gala is held on the South Shore.
And so we want both sides.
Yeah,
right?
we want both sides of the lakes to have access to us. So that's our casual event where, you know, come as you are. It's very casual. It's campy. There's a beverage, you know, beer and beverage, crawfish, a wellness and lifestyle fair, a whole family fun zone. It takes up the whole casting center, which is a very large facility. So it's a fun event. But the one that we asked you to be involved in is the Battle of the Brass with the dignitaries. And again, that's just like fanfare theatrical. But the other one for the community tournament, those were won. That last year was Robert Roth Jewelers had donated $1,000 gift certificate for jewelry, and they got all kinds of things like a cake from Haydell and all these free Jersey Mike's sub sandwiches, all kinds of fun stuff. But these guys were ringers, I tell you what. Like these guys walked in with their own bags, you know, with their little bag
it's like a pool stick.
No, like for real.
Yeah, they walk in, you know, and
I'm gonna have to weigh their bags. I think they added a little bit of weight on these bags over here.
And I don't think they missed like one throw, you know. So it's one of those things where you guys come for fun, not necessarily. You may, but people were impressed. They're like, did you see those guys throw? These guys were good.
They got a couple of ringers. I feel like I'm going into the lion's den, but anything for ladies with cancer.
Yeah, well, yours, I don't know, because the dignitaries, most of them were not, I don't want to say good.
No, they weren't
They were there just for the mission. But Jason Smith, like I said, Sheriff Jason Smith was a winner, and he's coming back to defend his title, and I think you need to go after it.
Okay, she's pushing me out in this water here.
And
I'm going to have these floaties on. I hope I can float.
Yes,
I'm going to bring Pete into the wilderness with me.
Yep, and we need a team name for the 2 of you. I had suggested Whistlebaggers, but I mean, we really need you guys to come in with a good...
Whistlebaggers. I mean, bagger to me seems like a sandbagger, meaning like I might, you know, like maybe trying to trick them, like, hey, you know.
Well, maybe that's part of the psychology.
Maybe. So let me think. You can't really hide in cornhole. Like you're either good or you're not good, right? There's no bluffing in cornhole.
That's why we have beverages available to you guys.
Yeah.
So you know, you could have a beer.
I'm gonna need a bunch of mocktails to get crazy over there. Yeah.
No, it's really kind of fun. It's really.
I'm ready. I mean, look, anything for the ladies.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you that right now. So it seems if Unite is as resilient as a city and all is celebrating despite the negative news, how do you think New Orleans culture influences your event? Meaning, like, you know, we're Katrina, this one, we're resilient. Like, that's a word, and that's what you guys are, resilient. And, you know, you do it all over besides Louisiana too, right?
We have contracts, yeah. We have Houston, all the Houston Methodist hospitals hire us for events. We have a big group up in Rhode Island that brings us up there because they watch, you know, a lot of places have, like you said, support groups, but nobody has this program, and they watch what's happening, and they are like, we want this for our patients. So we do have we work with the Fight Colorectal Cancer group up in Springfield, Missouri. So yeah, it's
because you guys here. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it our? I guess the question was kind of like seeing if it's our fun that we bring to the world.
I think it's more about the way we celebrate. I think New Orleans celebrates culture, and we celebrate these women that are going through it and being resilient. I think that's
like
probably
our city,
just
right?
like our city, right?
Like when we were coming back from Katrina, we like
even like at our events, we've gone as far as to having like a gospel choir to pull in the culture, or a jazz band, or whatever we can do to like help.
Like Carl Mack playing his
Carl
steel
Mack
drum
presents.
bands
We have the xylophone man.
Yeah, like we
That's
have.
the answer right there. You guys, our actual culture that
we
we
pull
are
into it. Every event we've ever had, we've always, whether it's the costuming or the reveling or the Indians or like I said, the gospel
just said
choir.
a good word, reveling. I'm going to write that down. We have every year we change a theme, and so we've done Rock the Runway, which was classic rock, and the ladies come out with ripped jeans and doing the rock star moves, and then we've playing electric guitars, and we've had the British invasion where it was all Austin Powers inspired. We've had the year Carl Mack came and played his xylophone. It was Turn the Beat Around, which was a Latin inspired. So this year is
all these elaborate costumes with the feathers.
Yeah, so we always bring out that music and the props. And so in New Orleans, you're not afraid to use props and costumes. Whereas around the country, people aren't so bold. So we'll say, yeah, you know what? We're dressing you like Marie Antoinette, and you're going to put a wig on that's 2 feet tall because it's our year. It's this year's La Vie en Rose, and it's a French Renaissance. They're like, you're putting a what on me, and but they go along with it.
But that's what I was about to say. That must help them. That nudges them a little bit to be like, all right, let's have some fun.
To step outside the comfort zone a little bit.
And
maybe.
it kind of probably loses them up a little bit, because everybody might be like, I don't know, like I'm feeling uncomfortable. How am I going to look? But if everybody's like, hey, let's put on these costumes. Let's have some fun. Let's let our hair down. Let's go crazy and do some things that we going to be outside of the box of what we normally would do.
I want to show you a photo. I wish I could show you. So the one year we did the warrior theme, and we used the movie set prop place off of I-10 in Slidell. Do you know that place?
No, I don't know it. But I think we had, was it the place where they had moms one year? Okay.
So this place, I think, is closed down, but they provide props to all the people coming into town for filming movie sets. And so they have like a whole Star Wars area or
so you guys just picked
carnival. So we went there and rented their place to film our warrior year, and we brought in all the hairstylists and makeup artists, and these ladies walk in. We just said, you have to wear something really fierce, like black leather and, tough and torn jeans or whatever. So they walk in as like normal women that you'd see walking through Target. And an hour later, they come walking down the hall. Their whole countenance has changed because they look like, I don't know if I was going to say badass warriors, but they're walking holding whips and knives and, daggers.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel it when you put that on.
Yeah, they became those people. So that's how New Orleans has influenced us. And then people come to our events ready to party and have fun too with these ladies.
Yeah,
that's the thing that we do bring. We bring all that stuff together, and then that's some. It's just pride, that's pride in us, and that's pride that you guys probably feel because people from other places saying, hey, can you guys show us how to do that? That seemed like it was kind of fun.
Or like, let's just say normal cancer organization across the country might be like, are you sure you want to take that risk, on being with a weird theme? But the nice thing about being a small nonprofit is we could say, you know what, I have this idea. And for the most part, I mean, we do have our board and we have sponsors who have to could say, I don't know, but most of them, they're like, hey, you guys haven't let us down so far.
Right.
So this year is when she said Revelers, I really like that name. That goes, but it's Rev the Runway, which is a race car inspired theme.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
so the runway, we were talking about that. I'm going to see, we have a NOLA Motorsports Park on the West Bank is one of our biggest sponsors, Laney Sweats, and those guys have been nothing but really supportive as heck. And I'm going to be looking forward to talking to them and seeing if we can get something that, when is the actual runway one?
It's Saturday, November 14th. And Lainey, we would really love your collaboration. This is
I'm
that.
going to send this to Lainey too.
Yeah,
so,
hi.
Lainey, no pressure, Lainey.
No pressure, but I mean, it's November 14th at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center. And it's that,
I performed there before.
high energy, race car inspired, like, music that the ladies will be walking to is like, get your motor running, that kind of thing.
To the highway.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Looking for adventure.
Exactly.
Whatever. So the runway event is truly amazing. What kind of vibe shift do you see for the women in their initial introduction to the runway moment? Like, so I know there's probably like some angst a little bit, like they're a little like, I don't know how this is going to work, but how do you, like, can you explain how they feel when they first get on there? Like just the excitement, the nervousness, and then you could just see that build into confidence when they're like, how like when you see a model walk, they're like, you can just see it in their walking, But can you guys talk about that a little bit? How excited they get and how you see them?
Yeah. So they walk into our program. Usually their shoulders are kind of curved inward and their head might be down, and they're really like, what did I get myself into? Why am I even here? And we open the door for them and we create a space, and we do a little bit more than that. But I think by the end of it, even after the runway, they're walking through Walmart with their head high and their shoulders back. And we've even been told that they take it home with them. They continue to walk like that.
In their kitchen.
Yes. That confidence. That's the thing that blows my mind, is that, it's contagious. It really is contagious. Like I am badass.
Yes.
I am a badass. You know what I mean? I am a person that is basically still has it.
Yeah.
I still have it.
Well, you were mentioning, so you've performed at Jefferson
Yes.
What do you
I did. So they asked me to whistle, first of all. This guy asked me to whistle, and it was just like a song. He wrote me and Elvis and the Pope in this song. And I was like, okay, I met the stranger. We had coffee. And then like a month later, he calls me and said, hey, man, it's going to be a play now. Do you mind whistling in the play? I'm like, okay, I guess so. It's going to be 3 nights. You got to practice all this stuff. I'm like, oh, gosh, okay. And then I go to first rehearsal. Then they're like, hey, can you dance a little? And I'm like, dance?
Really?
I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I can, And then like the guy's like, I think you should sing your part, then whistle it. Oh, and then this guy who's like playing the piano goes, can you sing? I was like, well, that depends. Everybody can sing. But can I sing the way you want me to?
Doesn't matter if tomatoes are thrown.
Right, exactly. And so before you know it, I had to sing, dance, and whistle. And in this 3-night play, it was called Our City, Our Saints. And it was at Jefferson Performance Art. And it was killer. And they actually had us. It wouldn't come back again this year. They're like, hey, we're going to do 4 nights this year. I'm like,
oh my God.
You did great, though.
So how did it feel? I'm asking you, how did that feel walk on the stage? Like, what was the feeling you took with you?
I was just, for me, honestly, I didn't want to let those people down that were professionals, because they had a lot of professional people there. I was just playing my own part. Like everybody else, Elvis and the Pope never wanted to do it. So they had real actors doing their part. I'm just this dude who's like never been in theater or nothing, like, whistling and singing and dancing, all awkward and off, but I didn't know this at the time, but a lot of these people were famous, and I looked at, like, when the bill came out, I saw all of them there, like the things they were in, and it was better for me that I didn't know that.
Oh.
But the director, she directed Chicago.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that at the time. I was just like, whatever. But she was so cool, just like you guys would be, I would think. Like, the ladies can't mess up.
Yeah.
Right. And like they made me feel like I can't mess up, even if I'm like
We can
4
mess up.
steps behind. You guys came with like sending them out at the wrong time or something.
No, just everything, like the system going down, technology, which it did this last time.
Yes, it did.
And you have to like backstage going. So the gal running the booth, her name was Adrian, and last year was Fight Club. So I'm like, all of a sudden the system goes down, no music, no lights, nothing. I'm like, yo, Adrian, you know what's going on back there? And, you just make it work. And the audience is pretty forgiving on the
And that's how it works, though. I think that's how the whole thing works. And the second part of it for me was, the whole practicing and all this was just like, from 7 o'clock to like 11 o'clock for every night. And I'm just like.
But wasn't there an
when did I
energy
sign
there
up?
when you walk out on the stage and the lights and the beautiful red velvet curtain? Did you feel that? I love it.
Yeah, I did. It was double energy, right? It was the energy of excitement. It's the energy of people out there. And it's like energy from me going, do not mess up.
You missed
right?
one. You missed one of the energies. Your ensemble. You're all backstage. You're all working together. Like every single one of you plays a part, right?
I sat there and was watching them like running out stuff and put all these props out.
Yes.
Because they go from like Tulane Stadium to the Superdome, Katrina, the Super Bowl. There's a whole play about the Saints, the whole history of the New Orleans Saints. And it was just, literally people crying at one point. It was just like, it was all over the place. But when I found us, the same part of me having to go and do that heavy lifting work, when it was over, like I missed those people.
Yeah.
It was like, damn.
Yeah.
And they were like, now you understand how it is to be on a Broadway play. Because you go into war with these people and you go into doing these things the whole time and all this stuff in this big compartment of time. And then you're like, oh. And then all of a sudden it's over. And you're like, oh, I miss so-and-so. They really was like that person made me laugh.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, wow, I miss them. Can we get together again? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for our ladies, they are not working singularly to get on that stage. They have 7 runway rehearsals with an incredible coach, Coach Leslie, who helps them get used to working in their body, getting some fluidity, kind of getting that runway beat, looking, not walking with their head down, look straight ahead, carry your shoulders right. But what happens is they realize their relationship to each other in that performance, quote unquote, because we don't just send somebody on the stage. We say, okay, walk on the stage, wave the audience, you're wearing a gown, turn around. They are weaving around. We have a very unique runway stage and they are working as a group. It is a group performance. And so they have this silent language that, they can, like when to walk, when to turn, how to pose. It's all rehearsed. And they rely on each other to make that happen. So it is the ensemble, which quote unquote equals the sisterhood.
I love that. Everything revolves around the sisterhood with you guys. Everything revolves around community with you guys. Everything revolves around doing it togetherness. Everything is just cohesive and in sync and sharing and everybody doing everything together and it reeks of equality and putting everybody in the same place and building everybody up together.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. And the last comment,
please.
When they come out on stage the first time, there's all kinds of nervous energy, and then they come another time, and you can't get them off the stage. From the moment the show starts to the second time, they have the nerves are off, and all of a sudden they come back the next year as an alum. And we always give the alums the opportunity to be in the show. And these are, I don't want to say like divas, but they come, we create a lot of divas.
Yeah, we do.
Awesome.
Because they get
in a good way.
It's addicting. It's being in that environment and
Yes.
having that kind of empowerment and just to work together is an addicting thing. And so that is when you said, how do they start and how do they finish? It's funny to see them I want more. Give me more. Give me more.
Yes, but that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Because before they were probably, I got to go back to the whole, cocoon and the butterfly and bursting out and being like, hey, let's go. From
I can't do this till I want to do it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
and that has to play another big part of them in their treatment too, and in their process of going through it, working through it and understanding I was nervous as hell about this runway thing, and I did it, and it wasn't that bad.
Well, that
Maybe
and
nervous.
sometimes they meet their best friend. Like that's the other thing. Like you could take two of the most opposite people that probably would have never found each other ever, and put them in our program, and they are now inseparable. Like several people that we know of.
Because they probably work against each other, or work with each other. Because if one is like thinking I can't do it, and one person's like I can do this, and then they like get together and they kind of help each other. And the other one, like in situations
we've
where
seen it so many times.
I have this last one of the girls from our last this two ladies. The way they became friends was they met for the first time, and one of the gals went up to the other one and said, "You have a resting bitch face like me.
awesome.
I want to know you."
Yes.
And they both realized that they were like
the same in a sense.
well, that people misconstrue their resting bitch face because deep inside they're the sweetest people. But she came up and she goes, "I just have to get to know you because you have a resting bitch face like me."
That's awesome. You
and
see,
now
that's
they're best buddies.
That's what I mean, like about how like it just this program. You guys couldn't have planned that.
No.
You know, but I'm just saying, like, it's organic. That's what I mean when it's organic. And it's just, the grassroots. Like, I'm talking about this show being organic and grassroots. You know what I mean? Like, it's no shoe to drop. It's what you see is what you get. And it's the same thing with these ladies. They go in and they're like, kind of, I don't know what's going on. But then before you know it, they're like, dude, this is nothing. This is awesome. Yeah. This really helped me. And then they come home and they're like, I got a new friend today.
Yep.
And, and then that just all you need is that little baby spark.
Yes.
That can help you turn your day. Because I always tell people looking for positive news and looking for negative news is like buying a car, right? You buy this car and you never had it before. And all of a sudden now you see it everywhere. You're like, man, you ever had that happen to you? You're like, oh, wow. Does everybody own this car now? But the car's been there. You're just looking for it now. Same way with that positive news that you give them, or the negative news that they don't get if they don't come there. Because if they're coming to your program, they're going to start seeing that positive hit every time. Like, wow, because they're looking for it. And, I didn't even know that there was another person out there with a resting bitch face that can be so cool. Maybe I need to do something, you know what I mean? But it's just that whatever little spark it is that takes them to start looking for that positive news. That's what you guys are bringing to the table for them. And that's just invaluable for something like that. And would you have liked to plan it like that every single time? Yes. But you're seeing it as it goes on. There's probably 10 other things like that too that you guys can talk about that people do.
I mean, I think everybody, I just lost my train of thought.
Well, when I'm talking about like when you guys bring people together, and they don't even realize that they're going to be together, but they definitely get something out of it and they start looking for nothing but positive things, opposed to saying, there's a ton of things that we can sit here today and we can find just as many good things that we said we can find just as many things negative to say. But because you're looking for the new one, but the good things, and you're on that vibe, that's what you guys bring to the table when they come to your program.
Yeah,
and that's one of the biggest things that people have. And that's what makes you guys feel good, because you see them get that spark, because you see those two girls, the ladies who probably would have never talked. They would just been at the random place wherever they were with their resting bitch faces, like, I don't know.
I don't want to get.
They're
I don't
like
want to
teammates, right?
Yeah, but more than I wanted to do a shout out to one of our major sponsors. I know that NOLA Motorsports is one of yours, and we appreciate sponsors, right? Sponsors make all this possible. So I wanted to say just something about Center for Restorative Breast Surgery. These are a team of surgeons that have been with us since the beginning. But Dr. Sullivan said once about our program and our ladies, he said, I wish that every waiting room had a graduate of your program sitting there so that the people who are about to go through that war can learn from somebody who was already there and say, I was, like I said earlier when we were talking,
just
that
to bounce some stuff
be okay.
off of,
well, like,
right?
you're going to make it.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, like you are feeling like it's scary. And
Can you make that happen?
That'll be tough. But I mean, our ladies are doing it in their own right.
Right.
But he did point that out. He said that the difference that he sees from patients who come back for their follow-up appointments after they go through our program compared to how they first enter when they're about to face surgery and chemo and reconstruction and all that is completely different because they've got to the other side.
Yes.
And so to have somebody who knows what it's like to tell someone you're going to make it, it's very powerful.
That, I mean, to me, honestly, I got to tell you, that's a big key to anything.
Yeah.
Having somebody who's been there and done it. You know what I mean? Like when someone loses somebody. And you can't tell how a person feels if you didn't lose your mom, if you didn't lose your mom, you know what I mean? Or if they went through it and they had to fight this battle of like, you know, whatever the disease was, ALS, whatever it is, you know, and just those feelings and those things, it makes it so much more personal. Mm-hmm. And especially if you have somebody on the other side of it, you know what I mean? Like I've seen people who have hurt legs or to get a knee replacement. They're like, oh yeah, I had like 2 knee surgeries here and 1 here. And once at both at the same time. You're like, what? Right. But just the fact of me telling them, hey, you can be on the other side is cool.
Absolutely.
So before we wrap up, can you tell people how they can support you guys or how they want to, if they want to donate or if they want to do some, I don't know if you have volunteers or, you know.
Well, yeah. So I would love anybody who wants to volunteer to help us with our March 22nd event or the November 14th event. On our website at uniteevents.com, there is a volunteer button. And all you have to do is fill out the form and somebody will contact you as to times or specific information for that.
And I personally, I'm the one in charge of rallying funds every year to make this possible. We open our doors for these women a lot of times with $0 in the bank account because we 100% just do this as a leap of faith. We're like, you know what? These ladies need support. We know what we're doing. We have the programs that are going to get there. But every year we have a budget. And, you know, thank God for our amazing sponsors and the people who buy tickets to our event. We find the funds to make this possible so that these ladies don't have to pay for anything that they get out of the program, which has about an $8,000 value per participant of all the things they receive from us.
Wow.
And so if you are listening and you have been impacted with a family member or a loved one and you love what we're doing, I mean, we've been, like I said at the onset, around since 2012, we are able to show up every year and make this possible for women in our community. You are sponsoring local. We are looking for sponsors. And in turn, we partner with our sponsors to help share their stories. We are, you know, not only a therapy program for our ladies, but we kind of consider ourselves sort of a marketing agency for our sponsors because there are a lot of really good companies in our community who care, but some who are actually helping women with a variety of services, you know. So
you want to say thank you to some of those people if you know any of them, if you want to.
Yeah, so obviously I already mentioned Center for Restorative Breast Surgery. We loved Dr. Tandon, who's a reconstructive surgeon, has been with us forever. We've got Michael Holmes from Diagnostic Imaging Services that does, the mammograms and things like that. Mary Bird Perkins, LCMC, Dr. Jimmy Ellis. We've had...
fantastic.
Oh, gosh, there's so many. Who am I... We have a lot.
Yeah, I feel like it's, you know, you're getting ready to write a list for a party, and then you're forgetting people because you're like, oh, how did I forget them?
Oh,
right.
Crew of Isis. Now that
you
you might think to yourself, why the Crew of Isis, which is a Mardi Gras crew? You know, this is an all-women's crew who loves to support women battling cancer. So they give us. We just rode for their 4th year in a row as their Grand Marshal float in their Isis parade.
That's awesome.
And it's really to like people. We make a bra as our signature throw, and it's really to help raise awareness and bring support in the community of women. So Crew of Isis, thank you. We've got the Women of Hope. There are so many. Dr. Oob has been amazing all these years. So there's so many that we could thank that it would take a long time to go through, but we really, really do appreciate these partners making this possible.
This is the last real question. Then there'll be some speed questions right after this. To wrap this up, let me ask you both: what do you feel makes being vulnerable powerful opposed to being weak?
Go ahead.
So I think being weak is controlled by emotion, and being vulnerable is all about being honest with yourself and self-trust and
That's
having
powerful.
courage.
Right there.
And
You can say that again. Being weak is vulnerable, and being. I mean, it really.
being weak is controlled by your emotions.
Okay.
And I think being vulnerable is more about having courage and being honest
Awesome.
and trusting yourself.
Yeah, it really is, because I feel like it just doesn't have to be cancer for some of these things, like the answers that I'm asking you guys, and it goes through all over. It's not just like you got to stay in just the diagnosis lanes, because a lot of the things just any person can use, and that's what makes it more. I feel like more back to the word organic, because it's just the only word that keeps coming to my mind is the fact that it's just a normal way to behave, even though you're going through some difficult times. But there's some of these things can still work when you have them come into fruition, like when they're actually doing the actual acts of things. Then you can see it kind of bloom like right there, rather than just saying it in a sentence. It actually happened, like with the wig, like the same thing that you just said, like her with the wig, like, you feel like you may be weak because you don't want to do it, but then all of a sudden you'll get there and you're like, you know what? I'm not wearing this wig. Right. You bust right through that.
So I had to reread the question. It's a very interesting question. My answer would be that I think weakness is becoming a victim to the weakness, like where you've become powerless over your situation, whereas vulnerability is where you're taking back the power. People might think of being vulnerable as a weakness, but being vulnerable means that you're opening yourself up to knowing yourself better and to exploring what can happen. Weakness is just, I give up, white flag. Vulnerability is like, I'm going to face it. Like, when you go in a boxing ring, and you, instead of retreating, you go after it, right? You you punch harder.
Get in there, yes.
And so I feel like vulnerability is power.
Both of you ladies, I mean, y'all are in the right place, in the right business, because I'm just telling you right now that it makes me happy to be able to have y'all here.
Oh, thank you.
Really, because to help share your message. There's some people that come on the show that we have that I really love, and I just want to get behind. Like Vet Jams is one of the guys, the veterans who help people with mental illness and that have served the country, and they don't really talk to a lot of people, so they basically let people come and play music together.
I want to do the SCART program with them. I was just saying,
so
we need to connect. That's why I was like,
I can connect you with them. I can with ease. Chet and Jason, they really are. I mean, I love their program because it's just they have veterans. They play at random places, and you don't have to to know how to play with them. You just go on stage and sing, and
that's cool.
And then, but they have these messages. It's okay to get help. It's okay, mental health. They give people places where they can go, because they say veterans, they won't tell their spouses or anything like that because it's so tough, but they will tell
other people,
another veteran that's just sitting there the same way, like the same idea.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like you create the space that's safe, and it's
it.
Amazing what people
they talk about that. So I'm definitely gonna get you guys connected with Vet Jams.
Perfect.
And they play all over, and they just go and they just play music, and they have other veterans come in and play music, and they leave and they go and play in other places. But so ladies, is there anything that you guys that we left out that you want to mention? Anything, any program you have coming? I know we're going to be doing the cornhole. I'm going to work on my motion. So I'm going to work on my bagging. Right.
Oh yeah. So really, people, if you're listening, sign up to be a 2-person team in the cornhole tournament. Come and play. We have a $500 cash prize for the winners, made possible by Robert Roth Jewelry in Baton Rouge, and then second place. This is the community tournament. You're not playing for cash. Sorry, you're playing for a $6 China trophy.
Oh, okay. Really?
Trophy.
Wow. Hey. I got that trophy from NOLA Motorsports.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I bet you they got it from China too. I'm not.
Me and Pete gonna be sharing. We'll be going to Galatoire's with the trophy. Yeah, cornhole. world champions.
Right, because y'all bragging rights, which is,
yes,
you know.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, so
right.
that'd be the last thing that is just really please come out on March 22nd. It's an indoor event. It's Sunday. It's from 10 to 4. And again, it's YOUNIGHT. Oh, you know what? An easier one to remember. Crawfishcornhole.com. We'll take you to that same spot. And final note, too, is that there are many people who make up Unite. Angela and I are kind of ringleaders, but there's Jill, the team director, and we have all the coaches and the volunteers. And I just wanted to give a huge shout out. The majority of them have gone through our program and now leaders. And I just wanted from the biggest of my heart to thank how many people show up to these volunteer events and work so hard. The crew of ISIS supports us as volunteers. So I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah.
Where's the runway going to be?
On the stage at Jefferson Performing Arts Center.
Yeah. We talked about that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you guys some speed questions here. All right. Hey, you can't get these wrong.
Okay.
These are going to be about New Orleans, right? So.
Oh no.
John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Can that be our answer for everything? John Baptiste.
So, king cake or beignets, Angela?
That's tough. Ugh. I guess beignets because I can have them all year round.
Okay. How about you?
King cake any day, and it can't be the stuff with filling. Ugh. It has to be the plain cinnamon king cake. But oh my gosh, like people have brought them to our house before for committee meetings and then left the king cake. And, you know, you always have the knife left in the box, and I always finish it. And, you know.
I always finish it.
So I'm always mad.
Okay, so now this one here is going to be, what's your favorite parade?
Oh, gosh. Go ahead, Angela.
Ange?
Wow. So I think it would be Muses. Yeah, Muses.
Okay. Muses. Mm-hmm. How about you?
I'm just gonna have to say crew of ISIS in Kenner, bro.
Yeah. You know, and she's like, "Hey, I'm very aware." And the next thing is Jazz Fest or Mardi Gras.
Jazz Fest.
So, do you have to go out of your house to enjoy these things? Is that part of the question?
No, just whichever one is the best.
Okay,
whichever one you like the best.
I think she's a Jazz Fest.
Okay, I'm a Jazz Fest apparently, even though I've only been twice. So yeah, Jazz Fest. No, because I live on the North Shore. I don't get out much. I'm a workaholic.
Okay, all right. So
She's
what do you
such
guys?
A liar.
So, so the last thing is, what do you guys do for fun to unplug when you unplug from work? What's your favorite thing? We're like, okay, I really had a lot. This is a long time. Okay, I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to go. What do you guys do to unplug to recharge your battery?
Yeah, well, I don't do it enough, but yeah, go into Florida or go into a beach would definitely be more of an unplugged thing for me.
Not
necessarily
trip like
going.
Angela just went on, like
Snow
bunny.
Since my surgery, it was a different trip for me.
I heard there was a lot of spa going on.
There's a lot going on, but yeah, to unplug, I would say the spa or a beach or just relaxing at home. I mean, I'm a pretty simple girl.
I like that.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me when I say my kids went to University of Alabama, Roll Tide. Okay, I know, like now your audience is all turning this off.
No, they're not.
I will say they got scholarships, so Roll Tide. That's a parent cares about that. But I love getting together with my kids. One's 24 and one's 28. They both live, one in Birmingham and one in Tennessee. It kind of like makes my entire day,
So the Rocky Top problems over there?
What's that mean?
Tennessee? Rocky Top?
What's a Rocky Top?
That's like their theme song, you know.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
You know, like your Roll Tide. And
no,
then
but he didn't go to Tennessee. Both my kids went to Alabama.
Oh, they both.
Yeah,
but that's
he
why you
just
don't
lives
know Rocky
in Tennessee.
Top. That's
yeah,
why,
they don't like the orange team at all.
Okay.
But
she's Roll Tide all day.
Yeah, but I do. I have my origin, my roots goes to my sorority sisters, Delta Gammas from San Diego State, and we get together every year and do a girls' weekend. So like this year we're doing it. We always, because of me, because I'm lame, I always make everybody do something in theme. And so this year we're doing the Ladies of Leisure, and we're going to go to, we always do like a beach trip or a wine country or something like that. So I'm a big
that is awesome
sorority girl at heart still, even though I'm older.
You hear that, huh, guys?
sisterhood.
Where are you going to be at? No.
Oh, well, this year we're going to be in Gulf Shores at
All
one
right,
of my sororities.
guys. What time?
Sleeps 14 people, and you have to wear one of those caftans. You have to be a man of leisure if you're going to come join us.
Look out. I'm not sure if Angela's invited to that one.
Oh, she's
Pete
invited
might
to
be a little
everything.
upset. But so guys, thank you so much for your time. Your time is the most important thing that you have, honestly. I mean this. And you use your time very wisely. This world is really filled with beautiful people inside of it. I tell this to my daughter all the time. And there's certain people that are extra special, right? And it's people who help people like yourselves. People who go out of their way to help someone during difficult times. That's a special kind of human. And I just want to say thank you guys for the work. Thank you for what you're doing. It's not going unseen. You're always welcome here. If you have any program, anything you need, if you're like in need of something, call here or whatever. We'll put it on there. We'll talk about it. But we always want people to like, share, and follow us and subscribe. And remember, there's big 6 things that you can always do that's okay, that can give you a great life. First 3 is have humility, empathy, and compassion for yourself first, then others, because that way you can have it for others if you have it for yourself first. We need to celebrate ourselves every now and then, because sometimes if you don't think that, then you're not having empathy, humility, and compassion for yourself. You have to celebrate yourself first to celebrate others. The next thing is always help people. You guys do that because helping is an inside job. You already know that one. And always try to be better every day, because guess what? You might miss a cornhole tournament. You might miss a phone call. You may miss a call to someone that, going down the aisle, and maybe the sound might go down. He's going to just keep on trying to get better every day. And the last one is leave the world better than you found it. Now, how do you do that? You can do it like you guys are doing it, with ease, because that's literally how you leave the world better, by helping people. But finding someone that you never met before, and there's a lot of that with you guys that come into your program, and having a great encounter with them. Now, this takes it to a whole nother level. I'm talking about like at the post office or at the grocery store, and you're in line with them. Hi, how you doing? Have a great encounter. That's leaving the world better than you found it. Because if you guys both went away and did that 4 or 5 times, that's making the world better. But taking it to the level that you guys have, not only just saying hi to them and doing it, but helping them through a difficult time. There is no better way than leaving the world better than you found it. And look, remember, the world is full of good people. Easy for me to say, right? If you don't see one, be one. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so
Who
much.
that? Yeah, you're right. Ladies,
Sheriff
go out
Smith,
and help
he's
you
coming
tonight.
after you, Sheriff Smith.
Here he comes, Sheriff. Who that?
Walking, stepping down the street, y'all.